Welcome to the Holistic Kid Show. My name is Zane.
And my name's Abdullah.
We are the Holistic Kids, here to educate and empower us kids from the inside out. We are so excited to continue this journey with all of you. Yay!
Today it is our honor to talk to Dr. Joel Gator Warsh, an integrative holistic pediatrician to the stars. And now he's here with us.
Yay! So my aunt and uncle are pediatricians, so I know what that means. It means he's a holistic kids doctor that really helps kids stay healthy. That is what I want to do.
So, Dr. Joel Gator Warsh is an integrative and holistic pediatrician in Los Angeles, California. He grew up in Toronto, Canada. He's super smart as he earned his medical degree from Thomas Jefferson Medical College and completed his pediatric residency at Children's Hospital of Los Angeles, or CHLA. He started his career work as an attending pediatrician at CHLA and then worked in private practice in Pasadena and Beverly Hills. Additionally, Dr. Gator has studied holistic and integrative medicine to help us kids heal from the inside out by addressing the child as a whole child in conjunction with a allopathic medical practice. Dr. Gator is a certified integrative medical practitioner by the American Academy of Integrative Medicine. Dr. Gator has published research in numerous peer-reviewed journals on topics including childhood injuries, obesity, and physical activity. He has been featured in numerous documentaries, in a film podcasts, and articles including Broken Brain 2, The Dr. Nandy Show.
Hey, we were on that
too! That's awesome.
CBS News, LA Parent, Dr. Ty Show, and many others. He is also the medical advisor for Earth Conscious Films and the owner of Integrative Pediatrics.com. He is an author to an amazing coloring book about health, and he is the host of an Integrative Pediatric Summit and a must-watch.
Thank you so much, Dr. Walsh, for helping us kids stay healthy, and thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me on, guys. It's a pleasure to be here. That was a mouthful. You guys conquered that, so let's get going. That was really well done. Good job, guys.
Okay. So, Dr. Warsh or Dr. Gator, we are noticing lots of sick kids in our classes, like with people with asthma, allergies, sinus issues, and even autism. Are you noticing more and more kids getting sick in your practice?
I am. That's a really good question. So we have been seeing more and more kids getting sick these days. A lot of kids are not necessarily eating healthy or doing all of the healthiest things. And so we're just seeing the amount of kids get sick more and more. I don't know about you guys, but when I was growing up, I didn't really remember anybody having a peanut allergy, or very, very few people. But now it seems really, really common. Everyone has a bunch of friends that have a peanut allergy, or maybe they have breathing trouble, like asthma or something like that. And I don't remember that when I was your age being so common. So I definitely think that it's starting to go up and we're seeing more kids with it. And that can be a little bit scary because we want everybody to be healthy.
Yeah, and especially now it's 21st century. Mm-hmm. My mom talks a lot about how our lifestyle are causing more chronic about how our lifestyles are causing more chronic inflammation in our bodies. Remember, inflammation is the fire in our body created by our immune system as it tries to get rid of the infection or heal us from trauma. There's a good inflammation called acute inflammation, but too much of inflammation can be bad because your body has this constant fire because of constant stimulances that don't stop. This fire can lead to chronic disease like eczema, allergies, asthma, digestive issues, and even autoimmune diseases. and autism.
That's very true. And what we're seeing is, so when you, let's say you bang your knee, right? When you bang your knee, it hurts a little bit. It might get a little bit red and swollen. That's good. That's your body helping to heal that area. But when we're talking about what you're saying, chronic inflammation, that means that the body is always doing that. It's always causing some inflammation, and that can cause you to become sick. And so that's what I think you're getting at a little bit there. And that's a really important point that you're bringing up. And that's what we have to think about, because we don't want to continue to be inflamed all the time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So scary. Do you think it could be because we are all out of balance and our bodies are inflamed? Why do you think so many kids are getting sick?
I think it is because our bodies are out of balance. And when we say out of balance, I think what most people mean is that, we're not going out for walks as much anymore. A lot of kids are staying at home and we're watching, TV, we're on the computer all the time. I know we're doing a lot more of that right now. It's not always bad, but we're doing sometimes too much TV, where maybe not eating the healthiest food, or maybe we're having snacks and sugar and candies, and that can make you have stomach aches and throw parts of your body off. Maybe we're surrounded by chemicals. We might put creams and lotions on our body, and sometimes those can be really good, but also sometimes they can have things in them that aren't that good. And so that can throw our bodies off. And when we throw our body off, then things can happen down in the future, right? So right now you might eat a chocolate bar, and that doesn't really do anything. But if you eat a chocolate bar every single day, then maybe a year from now, or 2 years from now, or a month from now, that's when you start having a stomach ache and a stomach problem. And so that's what we mean by the chronic issues that we're talking about. So chronic meaning long-term.
Yeah. Let's talk about the importance of real foods to our bodies. We only eat real food in our house because of the immune system, or the army that keeps us healthy and keeps the bad guys out.
Hey, isn't that mostly in our gut?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. We have trillions of bacteria in our gut.
Yeah.
We have trillions of bacteria in our gut. Dr. Warsh, Dr. Gator, what is the purpose of these gut bugs, or our good friends in our bellies?
Good question. So we have all sorts of bacteria all over our body and inside of our body. When we say bacteria, a lot of people get really scared. They think, oh, bacteria is really bad and it makes me sick. It gives me a cough. It gives me a stomach ache. But that's not really true. There is some good bacteria and there's some bad bacteria. Yeah. And we all live together. Just like when if you think about a forest, right? In a forest, there's trees and there's bugs and there's grass and there's birds and there's all sorts of things. So that's the same thing in your stomach. There's a whole ecosystem. There's a whole bunch of stuff in there. And there's all sorts of bacteria in there. And some of them are good and some of them are not so good. But we're supposed to have lots of bacteria in there. And that helps us to break down our food and keep us healthy. And when things are in balance, when the things are in the places that they're supposed to be, then that keeps our bodies healthy. But if we do things that throw that out of balance, like you guys were talking about, like eating unhealthy food, then maybe some of the bad bacteria starts to grow, and that's when we don't feel so good. So we want to help by eating good foods, like you were saying, so that way we can feed the good bacteria so everything stays happy inside your stomach instead of getting angry in there.
Yeah. We know we can keep our bodies in balance and our immune system strong by eating good foods. We have lots of bacteria in our gut, and because good food can feed the good friends in our belly, called the microbiome, and bad food can make the bad bacteria grow right, leading to an imbalance and disease and sickness.
Because when there's more bad than good bugs in our belly, in our gut, the bacteria don't do their job well and let things through that shouldn't be going through. The army in the gut is waiting for them and attacks them, leading to the inflammatory response.
That contributes to sinus issues, allergies, digestive issues, autism, ear infection, and even autoimmunity, like we mentioned.
That is true.
Yeah.
Because I used to have eczema, and now that my lifestyle is healthier, I don't have eczema. And my brother doesn't have sinus issues anymore. And my mom also feels better. If kids are sick, can they get healthy again? How can we stop this fire in their gut and feel better?
Well, you guys are a good example, right? I mean, you answered your own question that you could get better, right? If there's something that's causing that inflammation or something that's causing your stomach to hurt or the eczema to happen, if you take that out or you make changes in your life, then you will see things start to get better. And just like you guys saw, and same for me. So I used to have eczema when I was little. And as I got older, I realized that eating too much bread and too much wheat was what made me itchy. And so I started to decrease. I still eat a little bit, but I don't eat that much anymore. And now I feel better. And for a lot of kids like you guys in my office, they come in with something going on like eczema or allergies or asthma. And we try to think about some of those things, just like you said. And if you can figure out what is causing the problem or what's contributing to it, then you can hopefully either cure it or at least make it better than it was. And that's what our goal is. It doesn't need to be perfect for everybody, but we want it to be better. And so if you don't have that cough anymore, great. If you can breathe a little bit better, great. If you don't have stomach issues, great.
Yeah. Okay, so let's dive into the 5 R's my mom taught us on how we can heal the gut, which include remove, replace,
Repopulate, repair, and rebalance.
Yeah. So the first R, remove. First, to heal the gut, we need to remove the foods that can cause the fire.
Mm-hmm.
So, what foods cause more sickness?
What do you guys think? What foods have you guys learned that cause more sickness? I'm curious what you guys have learned so far. Then I'll go into some of the ones that I've learned.
So we learned that like foods that are GMO, that have chemicals injected into them.
Mm-hmm.
And like a lot of people have sensitivities to wheat and dairy, and so we don't have those because it's best to we think it's best to avoid them and not risk it.
Mm-hmm.
So we try to stay as healthy as possible. Other things that we don't like gluten. We don't go with gluten because a lot of gluten is GMO actually.
Mm-hmm.
We also love to stay organic too. All those natural fruits and vegetables.
Yeah, excellent answer. So those are two of the big things. So chemicals, as we were talking about before, just like you were saying, that can cause you to have issues in your stomach. And if you keep eating more and more chemicals, and then it causes more and more problems, that's why you want to remove that out. You mentioned some other things that are really good too, but I was also thinking maybe like sugar. We talked about that a while ago as well. So sugar, and then preservatives, and also when you're looking at food, I don't know when you guys go to the store, if your mom does it with you, but I bet she does. If you go look at the food label on the back, and you start reading some of the stuff in there, and you're like, I don't know what this is. It's polymorph, blah, 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 long thing, right? And you're like, I don't even know what that is. So it's probably not going to be good for you if it's some long word. If it says, peanut, or it says almond, or it says some word that that's a food, it's probably okay for most people. But if it's some long chemical, it's probably not so good for you. And then also, like you were saying, so for a lot of kids, dairy and gluten are problems. Not for everybody. Some people can handle it, but a lot of kids and adults as well now, even if they can eat the gluten or the dairy, sometimes they have problems with the chemicals or the way that it's made. So they might be better eating it in another country, but in America, we have lots of chemicals on some of this stuff, or the way that it's produced, or the strains that you're talking about, the GMO.
Yeah.
So if it's been modified, then that could also affect your belly too. So all of those things together are things you think about removing, because you're not going to get better. So if you're sitting on a nail, right? If you sit down on a nail every day, well, your bum's going to hurt, right? So you can take a medicine for pain, but your bum's going to hurt, right? So you got to remove that. So it's the same thing with the food. If you're eating chemicals, you're not going to get better unless you take out the chemicals first.
Yeah, I know sugar is everywhere. It's everywhere. Yeah, I know sugar feeds the bad bacteria and
weakens our immune system. But why else is sugar bad for us?
Yeah, it's a good question. So sugar has a little bit of sugar might not be so bad for us, but we eat so much sugar, like you guys are saying, and that can affect your bloodstream. It can cause long-term diabetes For some people, it can affect the bacteria in your gut. So sometimes it'll feed the bacteria that shouldn't be there. Also, it can cause inflammation for people that can't really handle it. So those are some of the big reasons where we just want to be extra careful with sugar, because eating too much of it really does feed that bad bacteria. And also it gives you really fast sugar spikes in your blood. And you're supposed to have you're not supposed to eat so much sugar at one time. And then your body can't handle it properly. And over time, that can cause issues with some of your organs, like your liver and your pancreas and things like that control your sugar.
Yeah. Okay. So
Now
in our house we don't eat any wheat and limited dairy. So if we do eat raw dairy for treats, yeah. But why are lots of kids reacting to wheat and dairy?
Yeah, it's a good. I don't know. I mean, I don't think we really know why everybody is reacting to it. I think it's a lot of the stuff that we mentioned already. It's the way that it's made, right? We have a lot of GMO, like you were saying, wheat and other grains. We have a lot of stuff is mass produced, meaning instead of having a really small farm, right, with a few cows, and then they milk the cows. They have really, really big, millions and millions and millions of cows, and they're using chemicals and antibiotics and hormones and all sorts of medicines to make sure those cows stay healthy. But at the same time, because they're using those, it can affect their whole body, and it can affect their milk. And so we're drinking milk with chemicals. We're drinking milk from these big places, as opposed to, if you just went to a farm somewhere and milk a cow and drink that milk, it's very, very different. And also, when you milk a cow and it goes to a factory and then it goes to the store and then you buy it, that's so much longer, right? It might be a week or 2 weeks or a long time after they actually take the milk before you drink it. And so that can affect your stomach very differently than if it was just, you had your own farm and your own cows, or if you had a chicken and you ate that egg. It's very different than if you get it at the store, because it's been a long time.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Gator. Wow. So no sugar, no fake food, everyone. Just to let you know. And
now the second R.
Replace. We need to replace the gut with real good food. What foods heal the gut, optimize the immune system, and heal the gut?
I'm putting you guys on the spot again. What's your favorite healthy foods that you teach other kids about?
I like carrots.
Carrots, that's a good one. What about you?
Yeah, sauerkraut. We love sauerkraut.
Sauerkraut's a good one. Yeah. Yeah, I think, fruits. Number one, sauerkraut is awesome. Yeah, exactly what you're saying. So fruits and vegetables, things that you could pick out of your own garden, are going to be good. You're talking about sauerkraut. You're talking about probiotics and prebiotics. So if you want to put in those good bacteria, you want to eat foods that have it, and sauerkraut's a good one. There's so many more probiotic foods out there, like kefir, and people will have yogurt and all sorts of different things. And it's important when you're talking about, let's say, yogurt, some of them have a lot of sugar, right? So you want to be careful about which kind, because not every kind of yogurt or every kind of sauerkraut's the same. Again, it's different if you make your own or you buy a really good quality one versus maybe a cheap one too. So you want to think about that in terms of your body. And then also, some people take a probiotic supplements. They take some probiotics every day as well for a couple of months to help with their gut. But I think, just like you guys are saying, the number one thing is to eat healthy food. And we mentioned it before, that if you know what it is, if you could pick it off a tree, if you could go dig it out of the ground, that's probably going to be pretty good for you. If it's in some really fancy, colorful box with a lot of really long chemical names that we don't even know what they are, probably not so good for you.
Yeah, it's not good. Okay. My mom tells us to focus on food that heals the gut, balances insulin and glucose levels, and is nutrient dense. We have lots of veggies, clean protein, and healthy fats in our meals. So you talked about repopulating with biotic-rich foods, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that's what the same thing we were talking about with repopulating. So, I mean, some of those R's they overlap, right? A lot of it goes together, but repopulating is putting back in the good bacteria and eating those probiotic and prebiotic foods. And if that's not enough, then you can think about maybe taking a probiotic or a prebiotic or both to get a little bit more. And it also depends, if it's one of your friends and they're totally fine and healthy and running around, maybe you can just do food. But if somebody's really sick, then maybe we're going to need more with a probiotic supplement.
Yeah.
The third R, repopulate.
I know if we eat foods like pomegranate and we can get acromantia. Are there other foods that can add more good bacteria to our bodies?
Yes, almost any healthy food could add good bacteria to your body. If you pick something out of the garden, that's going to have soil on it, and the soil has bugs and bacteria and all sorts of things on there that we're supposed to have in our bodies. It's not all bad, it's not all good. So there can be very good bacteria on that. And then just like we were saying, yogurt and kefir and sauerkraut, all of these things can have good bacteria. Kombucha can have some good, prebiotics, probiotics for adults as well. There are so many different kinds of probiotic and prebiotic foods, hundreds if you want to Google it and look at the list. But at the end of the day, it's usually those foods like you guys are talking about that we know what they are. And if we eat those foods, we're going to be healthier.
Yeah. What are prebiotics?
So prebiotics is the food for the probiotics. So it's if you're eating it, let's say in some foods, it can help feed the good bacteria in your body. So the probiotics like the healthy bacteria, and the prebiotics feed the healthy bacteria.
So, probiotics are food for the prebiotics are food for the probiotics found in green leafy vegetables and other high fiber foods are especially good feeding for good bacteria, along with asparagus, carrots, garlic, leeks, raw onions, radishes. He likes radishes and tomatoes.
Love it.
Great list. Yes, those are fantastic.
Okay.
Number 4, repair.
Okay, now let's talk about repairing or fixing our gut. What kind of foods can help us heal and repair the gut? I mean, we love bone broth, but what other kind of foods?
Bone broth is a big one that I think is great. That's what I tell my patients as well. Lots and lots of bone broth, because when you're making bone broth, you're usually taking either bones or vegetables and you're letting it sit for a long time. So you get a lot of those nutrients out, and the nutrients can help heal the outside of your gut. And so if we're causing inflammation, we want foods that can heal the outside. Some people like aloe drinks can be really helpful. Bone broth can be really good. A lot of people like glutamate as well for the healing of the gut. So there are lots of foods, but again, more so when you're repairing, it's the things that you take out, and then you start eating healthier and healthier foods over time, and that allows your gut to heal.
Yeah. Okay.
She doesn't know it, but we know she hides it in everything we eat. What other foods can help us eat and repair the gut?
What are we hiding in your food?
Yeah, she tries to she hides like all those like veggies, because all those veggies, and she puts bone broth in some of our food that we don't even know. And squash too. Yeah,
squash and yams can be really, really good. Beets can be really, really good. There's so many different foods. Yeah, mushrooms can be really, really good. There's so many kinds of foods, but it's exactly what you guys were saying. We eat healthy foods. That's what's going to help repair your gut. Mushrooms and carrots and celery and broccoli and all these things that we're like, oh, those are gross, if you're a kid. But sometimes if you put them in other things, that can be really, really helpful. And some things I like spaghetti squash can be really, really good.
We like to put like microgreens in some of our like foods too. So that's what she does. We figured that out a while ago.
Can you taste it?
Yeah, sometimes you can taste it. They always like, because they don't really like mushrooms. They're always like, does this have mushrooms in it? Tell me the truth.
You guys are getting a refined palate. You guys are gourmands at this point. You could tell. But that's what good parents do is A lot of stuff when you're younger, really, really young, you don't really like it. And then as you get older, you might like a little bit more. But sometimes there are things that we just need to get in. And so, sneaking it in the food can be good. Or sometimes, I don't know if you guys do smoothies, but smoothies are a really good way to get stuff in that is really healthy, because you can put in a flavor that you really like. Let's say you really like bananas or strawberries. You could put a lot of that in so that it has a good taste. And then you could sneak in some of those other things that maybe you don't really love that much, but they're healthy for you.
Yeah.
We love collagen in our smoothies.
Mm-hmm. That's a cool pairing too. Yeah.
Okay, now step 5. Rebalance. Dr. Warsh, how can we rebalance our bodies?
So I think that comes back to the foundations in general. So we talked a lot about what you can do for your belly, but there are so many other things you need to do for your body too. So I like to call it the seeds of health, and that's very similar to the R. So for me, that's number 1 is stress, right? That's the S. So if we're really, really nervous and we're really, really stressed, we're going to eat not so well, and we're going to be nervous all the time. Number 2 is the environment and the toxins. We talked a lot about the toxins. So if we're getting those out and we have a good home, and we get rid of most of the chemicals, and that's going to help our body rebalance. The third is exercise. So if you're sitting at home all day and you're not getting outside, you're not walking around, you're not getting any sunlight, then that's not going to be good either. Diet, we talked a whole bunch about, that's the D. And then sleep. So very, very, very important that you get good sleep at night, because how does your body recover? Well, when you're sleeping, that's when a lot of the recovering and the rebalancing happens. And that's where you do a lot of your growing if you want to be big and tall. So sleep is really important. So you have to want to think about your diet, but then you have to think about everything, right? Because if you don't sleep at all, then it doesn't really matter how healthy you eat.
Yeah. So, next, now that we talked about the 5th step, let's go. Yeah, that was really empowering. So,
everyone, please check out Summit link below, and make sure to follow Dr. Gator on social media, and stay tuned for the upcoming summit on integrating pediatrics. Thank you again, Dr. Gator, for working so hard to keep our future bright and healthy. So we as kids need to take charge of our health today.
That is awesome. Thank you guys so much for having me on. You did a great job. You brought up a lot of great points, and thank you for bringing up the summit. And your mom is actually one of the big guests on the summit too, so she's going to be on that, and we talk all about a lot of this stuff too, and talk about how we keep kids healthy, because we want you guys to grow up big and strong and be healthy and not be sick. So that's what we're all working on, and I'm so proud of you guys for doing this, because it's not so easy to be in front of a camera and to talk to people and to go through some of this maybe complicated stuff, and you guys are learning about it, and you're teaching other kids, and you should be really, really proud of that. And I think you guys are doing an amazing thing for a lot of kids, and I hope all the kids watch this. I hope everybody watches this, and then you guys are really, really famous, and you're like Oprah, and then we're all really proud of you, and everyone's like, I know those guys. They're interviewing all the famous people.
Okay, so remember Dr. Gator's key points. If we keep our gut health, we can keep our bodies healthy. So to heal the gut, we need to follow the 5R program. First, remove artificial fake junk food, sugar, and processed foods. 2,
replace
with real foods that feed our bacteria, like eating the rainbow with lots of fruits and veggies. Number 3, repopulate our gut with food that with plenty of good bugs, like sauerkraut and kimchi. 4, repair your gut with lots of bone broth and foods with nutrients like vitamin A, vitamin D, fish oil, and more. And
rebalance.
rebalance your body by lowering stress, by incorporating a stress management technique into your daily routine to keep the damaging hormones far away from them. We love meditating and prayer, and make sure we are always taking time to go outside. Yeah, we really like biking. So to go outside, play, exercise, enjoy nature, and make sure we are sleeping well to recharge our bodies and rebalance our bodies for the next day.
Awesome, guys.
Thank you again, Dr. Gator. You're so amazing.
You guys are so amazing. Well done.
Oh yeah, and remember, we have to remember to always detoxify your body with food and with Epsom salt baths, and keeping toxins and chemicals away from you and your home.
Mm-hmm.
Until next time, I'm Zain Ansari.
And I'm Abdullah.
Follow my family on social media, Holistic Mom MD, and look out for my mom's book, The Holistic RX, your guide to healing chronic inflammation and disease, and the amazing children's book we wrote together, coming out this year, Adam's Healing Adventures. So exciting!
So exciting. Good job. Yeah, I love it.
Join us next week for another episode of the Holistic Kids Show, where kids are empowering kids together. We can keep future bright because we get you, and we get you, and we can and when we talk the talk, we also walk the walk. So we know the struggles, but you got this. We are here for you. Real healing for real life.
Bye. Thank